Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai, all glories, Srila Prabhupada. Continuing reading about the pastimes and life of Gaura-kisora Das Babaji. And this is section 43. Once, on the day preceding the observance of the disappearance of Srila Sanatana Goswami, Srila Babaji Maharaja informed the devotee, "Tomorrow is the day when Sri Goswami Prabhu disappeared. We will observe a great festival. In Navadvip, such festivals are not observed by the caste Goswamis." Hearing this, the devotee inquired, "How shall we obtain necessary articles for the festival? How shall we celebrate it?" Srila Babaji Maharaj replied, "Keep this to yourself. We will forego our daily meal and constantly chant the holy names. This is how paupers like us will celebrate a festival." Hare Krishna! Section 44. How to recognize a Vaishnava. Once, someone asked Srila Gaura-kisora Prabhu, "The actual character of topmost Vaishnavas does not always seem to correspond to the descriptions of their character which are revealed in the scriptures, such as Shrimad Bhagavatam. Such Vaishnavas sometimes appear to exhibit mundane characteristics. Please be merciful and instruct us in this matter so that we can easily recognize a genuine Vaishnava." Srila Babaji Maharaj responded, "Out of his own free will and the inspiration of Krishna, a great Vaishnava, being saddened by the misery of the fallen and conditioned souls, invents himself in a certain family, in a certain place, and at a certain time. When such an exalted Vaishnava attracts people by his ecstatic love and devotion, and teaches them devotion to Lord Krishna, the Lord considers with some trepidation, 'It will be difficult for me to repay the debt to those who have surrendered themselves to such Vaishnavas, who are as dear to me as my life. I will become the servant of those who are affectionate to my pure devotees, and thus I will easily come under their control.' With this fear, Shri Krishna occasionally conceals the spiritual qualities of great souls from the eyes of the public. By the power of Krishna's Maya Shakti, the characteristics of the genuine Vaishnavas are concealed from those who have interest contrary to devotional service. Thus, genuine Vaishnavas appear to the materialistic to have materialistic characters. In this mood, Krishna examines the living entity to see how much he is actually attracted to the absolute truth, and if he is, he reveals the spiritual characteristics of the great souls. Hence, without the exercise of the independent will of a Vaishnava, no one can know him even after seeing in him all the characteristics described by the scriptures. It is often observed that the Vaishnavas praise the materialists and thereafter keep their distance from them. Sometimes, out of fear of the crowd, such Vaishnavas can feel their natural spiritual symptoms. Sometimes they make a pretense of converting materialistic persons into their disciples. They seem to want to be served by them and always take their advice. Thus, they keep their true nature obscured. I have seen with my own eyes that at Vraj, a great Bhajanananda used to worship and chant at a village some distance north of Shri Radhakund. Many distressed people used to visit him. He gave them the hope that they could fulfill their desires, both physical and mental, by praying to Krishna. In course of time, his fame spread near and far, and people went there in droves, day and night. He came to be reputed as a man of pure devotional austerity, a Siddha Babaji. When the news was spread that he was an extremely renounced soul, devoid of desire for gold, women, and adoration, and compassionate to conditioned souls, he was much harassed by a constant flow of visitors. Troubled by this, he made arrangements with a rich man for a monthly allowance, and with that money he engaged a young sweeper woman who sat in front of his cottage and acting as his servant. Seeing this, the people began to criticize him, concluding that this Vaishnava was a womanizer and attached to wealth, etc. Others stopped visiting this great-souled Bhajananandi when they no longer obtained any material results from their homage to him. In fact, he was a real Vaishnava. When the Vaishnavas graciously reveal themselves, faithful persons who become attracted by the mercy of those Vaishnavas and completely surrender to them can know the true identity of such Vaishnavas. Those who are very fortunate are not deprived of their service or their mercy. Otherwise, the Vaishnavas devise various deceptive means to hide themselves. To know a Vaishnava, one has to pray sincerely at the lotus feet of Gaura Nityananda, and by their mercy, when one's heart becomes devoid of pride, filled with humility, Nitai Gaur then revealed the true identity of a Vaishnava in one's heart. Nitai Gaur are revealed through the Vaishnava, and the Vaishnava is revealed by Gaur Nitai. It has been well stated in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Kaviraj Goswami. Section 45. The imitation of Mahabhagavatas. Brahmachari born in a Brahmin family, went to Shri Gaura-kisora Prabhu and expressed his eagerness to execute Hari Bhajan in his association. Shortly after, he became well respected by the people for his devotional austerities. Seeing the reverence which the people showed him, the Brahmachari decided to build a thatched hut like Babaji Maharaja. He secretly collected funds for the purpose and built a cottage on the bank of the river Ganges. The Brahmachari then thought to take the permission of Babaji Maharaj before he entered the hut. But before he could broach the subject, the omniscient Babaji said, "O respected Brahmachari, that you have a desire to execute bhajan is good, but if you enter the house of Maya, you will be increasingly entangled by Maya. You should leave this thatched hut and perform your bhajan under a tree." At this, a sentimental follower of Babaji Maharaj asked, "You previously advised us to do bhajan by going into a room and bolting the door from the inside. Why do you now say that Hari Bhajan should be performed under a tree? Otherwise it will not be Hari Bhajan." Hearing this, Babaji Maharaj replied angrily, "Yes, I was correct in saying so. This body is the house, and our two eyes are doors. He who closes the doors and learns to imitate the external behavior of a Vaishnava can never be said to have closed the door. His only means for success is to take shelter under a tree. One gets the supreme benediction if he obeys the instruction of his spiritual master and the Vaishnavas. If he maintains faith in such instruction, he will gradually develop the ability to follow it. However, if he imitates their behavior, he's surely quickly to fall." Eventually, the Brahmachari left the association of Babaji Maharaj, who commented, "Behold, such people are so evil-minded. He performs his Hari Bhajan with a desire to be respected by the common people. After 2 or 4 days, he will become greedy for money. Those who are unqualified to carry the burden of asceticism still want to act as though they were Paramahamsas." After this incident, the Brahmachari decided to return home. One of Babaji Maharaj's neighbors asked him, "Why has he been entrapped by Maya despite associating with sadhus? Why isn't he reaping the result of good association?" To this, Babaji Maharaj responded, "The pretense of associating with sadhus is not genuine association with sadhus. One is not benefited if he leaves the association of saintly persons before the benefits thereof fructify. The Brahmachari has gained this much. In the future he will not eat flesh or fish, or he will superficially follow certain principles of pious behavior. but he will not be able to enter into the kingdom of Hari Bhajan. Section 46. Desire for other things. Once, the day before the celebration of Rath Yatra, Srila Gaura-kisora Prabhu asked the people who had gathered for his association, "Where will you go to see the forthcoming Rath Yatra? At Podamatala there is a large cart festival, and to the east there is a prominent zamindar who has a cart, and if one goes there he can get rasgullas and yogurt and flat rice." In this banner, Babaji Maharaj described 5 or 7 places where Rath Yatra was to be held. At this, everyone began to wonder whether Babaji Maharaj was encouraging them to attend the cart festivals. Almost every day they had been gathering to read Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Shrimad Bhagavatam, and Srila Babaji Maharaj used to give the philosophical understanding of the portion study. He liked to repeatedly hear about the character of Prahlad Maharaj, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had frequently exhibited the pastime of hearing about the activities of Prahlad Maharaj. At other times, Babaji Maharaj listened to Prarthana, and Prema Bhakti Chandrika by Narottam Das Thakur, and would explain the proper conclusions of those songs. A reciter would read the scriptures, but the commentator was Babaji Maharaj. On the actual day of Rath Yatra, the usual class was not held, as everyone had gone to see the chariot parades. Babaji Maharaj opened the door of his thatched cottage, came out and announced with a slight smile on his face, "Today I can save my breath as everyone has gone. Those who were chanting Harinam with offense have given up the hearing and chanting of Hari Katha in the association of devotees and have gone to see the Rath Yatra. They will look at the young women, the crowd of worldly people, and other objects of enjoyment. They have no attraction for Hari Bhajan and the association of Vaishnavas. They have come on the plea of associating with Vaishnavas, but since they lack real attachment for hearing and chanting the Lord's glories, they're being swept away by the current of desires for other things, anyabhilasa." Thereafter, Babaji Maharaj began to chant to himself at the top of his voice. Later that day, seeing those who had participated in the cart festival gradually returning, Babaji Maharaj, looking very grave, did not speak to anyone. Section 47. Srila Gaura-kisora Prabhu on Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srimati Bhagavati Devi, the wife of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and the Thakur's second daughter, Kadambini, sometimes went to Kulia Navadvip from the Bhakti Bhavan in Calcutta to have darshan of the lotus feet of Sri Gaura-kisora Goswami. On one such occasion, Babaji Maharaj questioned them, "Why have you come to Kulia, leaving behind the deity, Thakur, of your home? Have you come to shop in the market, or have you come to see the deity of the market? The internal associate of Lord Gaur has appeared in your home. If you want to keep him there for some time, you should go home and perform Hari Bhajan with single-mindedness. Otherwise, you will not be able to keep him there much longer." Section 48. The artful pastimes of a Vaishnava. When Thakur Bhaktivinoda exhibited his pastime of illness in his final years, he was residing at Bhakti Bhavan in Calcutta. A caste Goswami visited Babaji Maharaj in Kulia, and the latter said, "You go to Calcutta, the material world, and bring Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to the holy dham." The caste Goswami could not grasp what the intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya was indicating. He did not understand Tomara Hridaya Sada Govinda Vishrama. The heart of the Vaishnava is always the resting place of Lord Govinda, and wherever there are Vaishnavas, that place is Vrindavan, and in that place there is unlimited bliss. Wherever a Mahabhagavata appears, he lives there with his Goloka associates and serves Krishna, the son of Raj, 24 hours a day. Thakur Bhaktivinoda's saying, "My house became Goloka," was beyond mere hyperbole and should be accepted as factual. When the Kas Goswami arrived in Calcutta, he conveyed Babaji Maharaj's message to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and the Thakur responded by giving his blessings to Srila Kishore for his performance of Hari Bhajan. Srila Saraswati Thakur later explained the truth of the Vaishnavas to the ignorant Goswami, telling him, "Having perceived the evil in our hearts, the Vaishnavas, in accordance with the verse from Bhagavad Gita, Yeya tamam prapadyante, tam tataiva bhajamyaham, deceive us in various ways. Having perceived the motive with which we approach them, the Vaishnavas feel there will not be much benefit in their instructing us, and accordingly they speak about various other matters to test our sincerity, keeping themselves absorbed in uninterrupted Bhagavat Bhajan in the meantime. Many materialistic people whimsically approach Srila Gaura-kisora and were instructed by him according to their predispositions. Being thus deceived, they returned whence they had come. Hearing ordinary talk from Babaji Maharaj about everyday articles such as flour, rice, oil, beta, potatoes, patola, etc., they got the opportunity to become more interested in the material world. If one possesses a hypocrite's materialistic instinct, he cannot truly associate with sadhus. If, on the other hand, one surrenders fully to a sadhu, he will be pleased to reveal himself to one and will continually speak the absolute truth, free from illusion. Section 49. Srila Gaura-kisora's benediction. Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj, with the encouragement of Srila Saraswati Thakur and the permission of Srila Thakur Bhaktivinoda, crossed the river Ganges to have darshan of Srila Gaura-kisora Goswami. Tirtha Maharaj was a grihastha at the time and had not been initiated by Thakur Bhaktivinoda. While going to visit Srila Gaura-kisora Prabhu, he carried a melon with him. Ordinarily, Babaji Maharaj did not accept presents, but when he heard that someone had come from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he accepted the fruit. He told that devotee in the dress of a householder to sing some kirtan from Narottam Das Thakur's Prarthana. The householder sang, Gauranga Bolite Habi Pulaka Sarira, Hari Hari Bolite Nayana Babanira. Having heard him sing, Srila Gaura-kisora gave him the following instruction. Keep faith in the spiritual master and other Vaishnavas. Be as humble as a blade of grass, and with the forbearance of a tree, always chant the name of the Lord. Keep yourself aloof from the association of non-devotees. Hearing this, Bhakti Pradeep Prabhu told Babaji Maharaj, "At this time I did not have the shelter of the lotus feet of a guru. I do not have the shelter of the lotus feet of a guru." Srila Gaura-kisora Prabhu replied, "You have taken darshan of Shrimad Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Mayapur, and that is the place of Atma Nivedana, complete surrender. As you have surrendered yourself to the lotus feet of the bona fide guru, then how can you say you have not achieved his shelter? Bhaktivinoda Thakur is waiting for you. Go and take his mercy." After hearing this, the grihastha devotee got his head shaved. Srila Gaura-kisora Prabhu then told him, "When you take sannyas, the name of Mahaprabhu will be spread from country to country and village to village." Thus blessed by Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Pradeep Prabhu touched his lotus feet and offered him obeisances. When hypocritical and materialistic people came to respects to Babaji Maharaj in that manner, he would say, "Everything you have will be destroyed, your home will be razed to the ground." In this way he displayed his pastime of anger. In this case, however, his attitude was quite different. That same day the devotee went to Godrum to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and was initiated by him into the Kama Bij and the Kama Gayatri mantras. According to the prediction of Babaji Maharaj, he was the first disciple to be given Tridandi Sannyasi by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, whom he considered his Shiksha Guru. He was known as Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj. According to his capacity, he preached the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Bhaktivinoda in India and abroad. Section 50. His entrance into the eternal pastimes of the Lord. In the year 1322, at dawn, on the 30th day of the month of Kartik, corresponding to November 16th, 1915, Srila Gaura-kisora Goswami entered the eternal pastimes of the Lord. That day at sunrise, Srila Saraswati Thakur left Shri Mayapur for the Rani Dharmshala at Kulia, where Babaji Maharaja had been staying. The head priests of Navadvip's various temples and ashrams began to argue among themselves about where Babaji Maharaja's spiritual body would be interred. A heated argument arose. There was a material motive behind the dispute, for the contending parties considered that establishing the Babaji Samadhi at their ashram or temple would put them in a position to earn handsomely from pilgrims who would flock to see the tomb of the Paramahamsa. Srila Saraswati Thakur opposed their illegitimate attempts, however. Apprehending a breach of peace, Navadvip's inspector of police, who was at that time Mr. Jatindranath Singh, arrived there. After much controversy, the various hypocritical Vaishnavas stated their position. Srila Saraswati Thakur is not a sannyasi, and thus has no right to prepare a samadhi for a person who has renounced his home. Hearing the pronouncement, Saraswati Thakur replied in a voice like thunder, saying, I am the sole disciple of Paramahamsa Babaji Maharaj. Even though I have not accepted sannyas, I am a celibate brahmachari, and by the grace of Babaji Maharaj, I am not a hypocritical renunciate secretly addicted to abominable habits or fornication as some monkey-like people are. I take pride in saying this as a bearer of Babaji Maharaj's shoes. If there is someone here who is a renunciate of truly stainless character, then he can come forward and arrange for the samadhi. I have no objection to that. He who within the last 1 year, or 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, or even 3 days, has not indulged in illicit association with women will be able to touch the spiritually blissful body. If anyone else touches it, he'll be completely ruined. Hearing these words, the inspector of police said, How will the evidence for this be produced? Srila Saraswati Thakur rejoined, I will believe what they say. After this challenge was offered, the Babajis turned their backs one by one and departed from that place. The inspector of police was dumbfounded. Some of the people remaining there advised that Babaji Maharaj had expressed a last desire that his body be dragged through the streets of Navadvip in the dust of the Dham. To this Saraswati Thakur replied, Although we are fools, inexperienced, and offenders, we will still not be disinclined to understand the true meaning of those humility-filled words which have been spoken by my Gurudev to destroy the pride of worldly-minded people. Even Krishna Chandra will personally think himself successful if he carries my Gurudev on his head or shoulders. After the departure of Haridas Thakur, Shri Gaurachandra took the spiritual body of the Thakur on his lap and danced. What dignity he adorned it with! Therefore, following in the footsteps of Srimad Mahaprabhu, we shall also bear Babaji Maharaj's spiritual blissful body on our heads. On the following day, November 17, 1915, on the Uttan Ekadashi in the afternoon, and according to the scriptural ordinances, Srila Saraswati Thakur laid the body of his Guru to rest on a newly formed sandpit of the Ganga at Kulia. A low-class person of Lohagara from the district of Jashore donated his property and claimed to give up all rights to it. Yet, after some time, he forgot his promise and utilized the land for various illicit materialistic activities. Although he was criticized for this, he maintained his pride and committed offenses to the eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya. 16 years later, by the will of Gaura-kisora, thus Babaji Maharaja, his place of rest was eroded by the river Ganges and inundated by it. Srila Saraswati Thakur organized a party of men and recovered the samadhi intact and brought it to the bank of Radhakund at Rajapatan, where he re-established it before a memorial of Shri Guna Manjari. Nitya Gauranga Das Adhikari, a disciple of Srila Saraswati Thakur, helped to construct a beautiful samadhi on the site. We close our recounting of the transcendental deeds of Babaji Maharaj with this oft-recited prayer. Namo Gaura-kisora Shakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambodhe Parambujaya Te Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Gaura-kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, the spiritual master of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who is renunciation personified. He's always merged in a feeling of separation from an intense love for Krishna.